Hello. So today's topic is about units and conversions. Units are a very, very important part of our lives, and without a unit, any quantity is absolutely meaningless. So, for example, let's say, um, let's say if I were to say that if you were to write an essay, and you would say the essay is 500, you should put a unit over here, right? 500 words long. I mean, 500 words long is more so a paragraph than an essay. The movie lasts 120. It feels like you should put a number over here, right? So a movie lasts maybe 120 minutes, most probably. That's 2 hours. This file size is 10 megabytes, let's say, right? Or 10 gigabytes, maybe, that we normally call as MB and GB. So when you talk about a quantity in real life, mostly they have a unit associated with it, right? So for today, we'll only talk about these 6 units of measurement. We'll talk about the length scale, area scale, volume scale, time scale, speed scale, and mass scale, and the interconversions between them. Uh, First of all, length scale. Okay. Length normally is given to us either in centimeters. I mean, there are a lot of units, lots and lots of units of length, but I'm going to confine myself to the smallest one, which is the millimeters. There are smaller units than millimeters. Okay, millimeters, centimeters. Most commonly used are these millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. Okay. And the conversion ratio between them is 10, 100, and 1,000. Okay. And once you have this, this makes life really, really simple. Whenever you are going forward, which means going from millimeter to centimeters, and maybe from centimeters to meters, going forward is division, and going backward is multiplication. Okay, so let's say you're given a certain number of kilometers and you want to convert them into meters. So you're going backwards, right? Backwards is multiplication. That's it. That's the only thing you need to know. Let's apply it. So for example, you have 4,750 millimeters, and you want to convert this into meters. So how would you do it? You're given millimeters, which means I stand over here. Okay. And I need to go to meters. So this is where I want to be. I want to, going from here to here takes 2 jumps. Okay. So forward is division. So I'll take 4,750. Because I'm going forward, I'll divide. I'll divide it by this 10 and 100 since I'm taking 2 jumps. So you'll do 10 and you're also dividing it by 100. Okay. This 10 and this 100, 4,750 is being divided by both of these numbers. Okay. You can work it out by using a calculator. And let's move towards the next one. A walking track is 2.45 kilometers long. Express its length in meters. So we know that sorry, millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. Okay. So you're given a certain quantity in kilometers and you want to go back to meters, right? 10, 100, and 1,000. So now to express this length in meters, you're going backward. Backward is multiplication. So you would take 2.5 and you multiply it by 1,000 and you would get this quantity in meters, 2,500 meters. Okay, as simple as that. For example, a book spine is 3.8 centimeters thick. Convert this into millimeters. So I'll take this conversion ratio and centimeters. So you stand over here at centimeters and you want to go to millimeters. You're going backward. Again, backward is multiplication. Okay, so you would take 3.8 and you would convert it into millimeters, which means you're multiplying it by 10 and you would get 38 millimeters. Okay, so that's the length scale you need to remember. Uh, there are lots of lengths, but I'm not going to cover all of them. I'll just focus on the most commonly used ones, which is millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. Okay, next is area. Now, area is no different from length, but there's a very slight difference. Okay, so I'll take the same scale, millimeter, centimeter, meter, and kilometer. Okay, we know that area is essentially the square of length. So it's millimeters squared. I'll write the same scale first, 10, 100, and 1,000. Okay. So I will, because area is the square of length, right? So I'll take the square of everything. So this would be written as, squared, centimeter squared, meter squared, and kilometer squared. Because these quantities are being squared, I will also square their conversion ratios as well. Okay. And everything else is the same. Forward is still division and backward is still multiplication. Okay, that's it. So a poster covers 12,000 centimeters squared. This is where I stand. Convert this area into meters squared. I'm going forward, so I'll divide. I'll take 12,000 and I'll divide it by, because I'm wanting to convert it into meters squared, right? So I'll divide it by 100 squared. You can use it by using a calculator, or if you want to expand, you can also expand it. 12,000 divided by 100 multiplied by 100. If you want to cancel out the zeros, you can. Otherwise, you could just do it by using a calculator. 1 0 cancels out, 1 0 cancels out. 12 divided by 10, and that's going to be 1.2. Final unit is meter squared. Okay. A classroom floor has an area of 45 meters squared. Express this in centimeters squared. So I'll take the same conversion ratio. I'll put this in miniature over here, and 45 meters squared. So where do you stand? You stand over here. Meter squared is here. Where do you want to go? Centimeter squared, backwards. Backward is multiplication. So you take 45 and you will multiply it not just by 100, but by 100 squared. Okay, so 45 multiplied by 100, multiplied by 100. I'll let you do this by using a calculator. As simple as that. A city park covers 0.8 kilometers squared. So kilometers squared, which means you are over here. Convert this area into meters squared. So that's where you stand. Again, going backwards. So you would take 0.8 and then you multiply it by, going backward is multiplication, right? So 1,000 squared. Okay. I'll let you do this by using a calculator. So that's going to be 0.8 times 100 times 1,000 times 1,000, and you can work it out. Okay. Then we have volume. So volume is a little different from the length and the area. Volume is normally represented as centimeter cube or milliliters. Now you have to understand they're both the same thing. You can either say centimeter cube, you can either say milliliters, same thing. Going from centimeter cube to milliliters is 1,000, and going from liters to meter cube is 1,000. The same rate follows, the same method follows. Forward is division, backward is multiplication. Okay, you have 750 centimeter cube of liquid. Convert this into liters going forward. So I'll take 750 and I'll divide by 1,000. Okay, so as you're going to get 0.75 ml, 0.75 liters. All right. A water tank has volume of 2.5 meter cube. Now, volume is the cube of length. So whenever you'll see L cube in the question that I'll give you in the assignment and in the exam, you will not be told the area in, you will not be told it's a volume or its length or it's the area. You have to judge it by the units. So if it's just meters, it is length. If it's meters squared, it's area. And if it's meter cube or any length, for example, centimeter cube or millimeter cubed, then it's volume. Okay. And milliliters and liters is also volume. A water tank has volume of 2.5 meter cube. Convert this into liters. So meter cube means you stand over here. Convert this into liters. Of course, I'll multiply it by, since I'm going backwards, I'll multiply it by 1,000. So 2.5 times 1,000, and you're going to get a certain number of liters. Okay, a medicine bottle contains 0.35 liters converted to centimeter cube. So we know that centimeter cube or milliliter is the same thing as, sorry, liters to meter cube, and we have a conversion ratio of 1,000. Liters, 0.35 liters, that's where I stand. I want to convert this into centimeter cube. Again, going backward, so multiplication, 0.35 times 1,000, and I'll get a certain number in centimeter cube. That's that. That's it. Number 4, time scale. Time scale is interesting. So the smallest unit that's, of course, there are smaller units as well, but I'm going to start with seconds, minutes, hours, um, days. Okay. And then if you're given years, you can also use years as well. Okay. Uh, Interesting. So seconds to minutes is 60. Minutes to is also 60. Hours to days. We know there are 24 hours in a day, and there are 365 days in a year. Okay. So that's it. And the same thing follows. Forward is division and backward is multiplication. Let's see. A video runs for 9,600 seconds. Convert this time in hours. So here's seconds. I'm going to go to hours. Again, I'm going forward. So I'll take 9,600 and I'll divide it by 60 and 60 because I took 2 jumps. Okay. And whatever time you'll get, that will be in hours. Okay. Let me take this conversion ratio and use it to solve the rest of the rest. Okay, there we go. Make it smaller. Lecture lasts for 1.75 hours. So hours means we're standing over here. Convert this into minutes. Backward multiplication. 1.75 times 60. You're going to get a certain number of minutes. A reaction takes 3.5 minutes. So minutes is over here. You want to convert this into seconds. Again, going backward. So multiplication. 3.5 times 60. And you're going to get in a certain number of seconds. Okay. Right, next, speed. Speed is interesting. So speed requires some multi-step calculation, so you have to be very careful here. We're going to use, for speed, we will use the length scale and the time scale, both, very, very carefully. So we know, one more time, for length, we know the time scales are millimeter, centimeter, meter, kilometer, and time, we know that it's second, minute, hour. Okay, I'll stop here. Okay, length 10, 100, and 1,000. Second to minute is 60, minute to hours is also 60. A cyclist moves 12 meters per second. I can write it as 12 meters per second. Is it division? Meters per second. I can write it as meter per second. Okay, you can write it like this. It's still division. Now, do the conversion for top and bottom. You want to convert 12 meter per second means 12 divided by 1 second. 12 meter divided by 1 second. Okay. Now, follow the same conversion ratios that we used before. You're wanting to convert this into kilometers per hour, write kilometer over here, write hour over here. Okay. So you essentially at the top in the numerator, you're going from meter to kilometers. Meter to kilometer, where is it? Divide by 1,000. So you'll take this number 12 and you'll divide by 1,000. Okay, do it very, very carefully in the calculator. And the bottom, seconds, you want to convert this into hours, seconds to hours, again, forward, so division. So you'll take 1, you'll divide it by 60 times 60 is 3,600. Okay, make sure you do it. If you were to do, 12 divided by 1,000, and then if you're doing a division, then you can either do this 60 multiplied by 60, but make sure you're using a bracket. Okay? Otherwise, if you were to do it like this, 60 times 60, do not do this because the calculator would misinterpret it. The calculator would first do the division and then the calculator would do the multiplication, which would make it wrong. Okay, so either you do this, put in brackets. If you're putting in the calculator as well, make sure that you're using brackets. Otherwise, just multiply them first. 60 times 60 is 3,600, and then put them in brackets. Okay, do it any way you like. Very, very carefully, you put it in the calculator Okay, make sure you're following the brackets, the signs and everything, and you will get your answer in kilometers per hour. Okay, let's see. Uh, a car travels at 72 kilometers per hour, express in meters per second. 72, on top you have kilometers, at the bottom you have 1 hour. Okay, now I want to convert this kilometer into meters. I'll write meters here. I want to convert this hour into seconds. I'll write seconds over here. Now I want to convert 72 kilometers into meters. So that will give me uh, kilometers to meters is forward. Kilometer to meters is backward. Backward is multiplication. So I'll take 72 and I'll multiply it by 1,000. Okay, hours to seconds. So there's hours. Hours to seconds is going backward. So multiply by 3600 because backward is multiplication. So I'll multiply by 3600 and you can work it out. You'll get your answer in meters per second. Okay, a runner's speed is 5.5 meters per second. Convert this into kilometers per hour. 5.5 meters divided by 1 second. Again, kilometers an hour. So going from 5.5 meters to kilometers is meters to kilometers is forward. Forward is division. So I'll do 5.5 multiply by, sorry, divide by 1,000. And you have 1 seconds. Converting seconds to hours is again forward. Okay, so you'll do the division. Make sure that you're dividing very, very carefully. 1 divided by 3600 because you're doing the double, 2 steps. Okay, and once you'll put this in the calculator, you will get your answer. Make sure you do it very, very carefully. I'll do one sample calculation with you. Let me share my entire screen actually, just to give you an idea. So I hope you can see the calculator, right? I'm doing the demo with you so that you do it this way in your calculator. Make sure that you have scientific calculator or you can use your phone, but make sure you have a scientific calculator in your phone. Okay, 5.5 divided by 1,000 and then 1 divided by 3600 and you'll get your answer. Okay, 99 divided by 5. Press this button, you see this? S and D and you'll get 19.8. Okay, and this is what your calculation looks like. And this is your answer, 19.8 kilometers per hour. I hope it makes sense. This is a little technical, otherwise everything else is it's pretty simple. Okay, last, mass scale. Um, mass, normally we use milligrams to grams to kilograms. Okay, that's what we use in our daily lives. So I'll do a conversion ratio 1,000 and 1,000. Okay. Um, all right. A vitamin tablet has a mass of 450 milligram. Express is in grams. So you stand over here, forward. Again, the same rule follows. Forward is division and backward is multiplication. So you're standing at milligrams and you convert this into grams. So forward is division. So 450 divided by 1,000 and you're going to get 0.45 grams. Okay. Right. 2.75 kilograms, convert this into grams. So you stand over here. Going backward is multiplication. So 2.75 multiplied by 1,000. Whatever your answer is, it's going to be in grams. I think it's 2,750 grams, maybe. Right. A laboratory sample has a mass of 0.08 grams. Convert this into milligrams. So 0.8 grams, 0.08 grams. Convert this in milligrams. We know that if you have mg, g, and kilograms, 1,000 and 1,000. Right. Gram to milligram, let's say, backward. So you'll take this and you multiply it by 1,000 and you will get a certain number of grams. Milligrams, sorry, mg. Okay, that's it. I hope it makes sense. I've simplified it for you. I've the scales are something that you need to remember. Yes, once you know the scales, everything's going to be pretty much easy.